Hey, I hope you enjoyed watching the intro sequence. I'm super excited because in today's tutorial I'm going to teach you how to sound design your FPV drone videos. I'll share my whole process from start to finish of how I approach sound designing and how I find the right song that fits the visuals and the whole vibe that I'm going after. Now, my main goal with today's tutorial is to make you realize the power that sound has. It's really worth taking the extra time in your editing process to sound design your videos because it will help the viewer be way more immersed into the video you created. And even if you have boring visuals but you add a good sound design, it immediately levels up your work. So trust me, if you implement tips from today's tutorial, your work is going to go to the next level. So when I start editing a new video, I usually throw all of my footage onto the sequence and then start sifting through to find the best shots. And while I'm doing this, I'm already listening to a playlist in the background, hoping that I will hear a song that will help me feel the vibe of the footage. The music licensing website I use for all of my YouTube videos and for professional filmmaking client work is Artlist. I've used Epidemic Sounds and MusicBed in the past, and yeah, they have some really good music, but at the moment I like the music from Artlist the most. It's not uncommon to hear the song from Artlist in big commercials. So here's a little pro tip. If you want your work to feel professional, song choice is very important. So a lot of times I will use songs that have been used in other commercials because, well, they work. But when I search for the music from zero, this is how I do it. Okay, so when I search for a song on Artlist, what I usually do is I go under the Browse tab and then I press on mood, and usually I go for a powerful mood because this is what cinematic FPV is. And for genre, for this specific song, I searched under the cinematic and electronic. And then what I also like to do is, yeah, sometimes I will go check the top downloads, especially if I'm doing a commercial, because these are the songs that work. But for YouTube or when I just want to do something different, what I like to do is go under the newest and then listen through the newest songs because I know that they haven't been used as much. And as you can see, here is the song that I used in this sequence. You need to be aware that the process of finding music can take either 1 minute or even up to hours. But segmenting the music by mood and genre is what helps me speed up this process a lot. And if you too would like to try out Artlist, you get 2 months for free if you click the link below this video. Okay, we got this song, so sound effects are next. Again, there are literally thousands of different websites that offer a ton of different sound effects, and it's up to you to find what you like the most. Personally, again, I used Artlist mostly because they have a huge sound effects library with quality production sound effects, and I really like how they are organized on the website by categories. And I also use some other ones. For example, I've purchased sound effects from Lens Distortions, they are really good, and Instinct Trailer from Ava Music Group, and then there are of course sounds that I've recorded myself on my filmmaking project, or I either find them on YouTube or freesound.org. The problem with FPV drones is that they are freaking loud. I mean, there is no chance to get usable audio when flying. So that sucks, of course, because you have to start from zero in post. Let me show you how I sound designed the intro sequence. Let's jump in. So the first thing I do is I ask myself, what are the ambient sounds I should be hearing when watching this specific scene? And in this case, it's wind. So I added a sound effect from wind. Then the next thing I do is I ask myself, what are the big moments happening in this specific scene? And in this case, when I fly through his legs and he throws the frisbee, so I used whoosh sound effect to enhance that. And I actually slowed it down to 80% to make it sound a bit different and deeper, so to say. Then the next sound effect I used was sound effect of the dog running, and also the sound effect from the dog catching the frisbee. Okay, moving on to the second scene. So as we can see, we are on the airfield. So the first sound effect that popped into my mind was a sound effect of a jet. So I found one on Artlist, sound effect of a jet taking off. Then I also added ambience of the wind. And the two big moments happening in that scene are when I'm flying under the planes, so I enhanced that with another whoosh sound effect. I actually used the same one as in the scene number 1, but what I did is I slowed down the clip to 60% and I also added a low pass filter, and what this does is it cuts off the highs, letting only the lows pass through. I'm not gonna go too deep into this. What you need to know is that it just makes the sound effect sound completely different. Kind of deeper, so to say, and you can also play with the intensity of the sound effect here. So this is how the original sounds like, and this is the one that's edited. Okay, moving on to the third scene. Same thing, big moment, flying through, use a whoosh sound effect. And the tip I would give you from this specific scene is to try to use keyframes to manipulate how loud the sound effect is going to be. At the beginning, the volume is lower because we are away from the car, and once we get closer, the sound effect is gonna sound louder. So this is a sound effect of the car, and then here we have a splash sound effect while we are driving through. And all I did here, I didn't use keyframes, no idea why not, to be honest. I could. Instead, I've chose to use constant power, and this is super simple to do. Right click, apply default transition, and then you can drag and it will kinda fade in and out. And I also used a downer sound effect to bring more intensity and drama to the scene, and as you can see, I used the keyframes again to make it fade out towards the end, and this is how it sounds. But really check that audio levels are not clipping when you stack multiple sound effects onto your timeline. So what you need to do is you need to always be checking that the sound is not peaking. So if the sound effect is gonna be too loud, it's gonna be in the reds and it's gonna sound horrible. Here we used a sound effect of the bike chain, and as I get closer, the sound effect of the chain gets louder, ambient sounds of wind blowing, and then next we have seagulls to make us know that we are now on the ocean, on the sea, and of course a sound effect of the engine of the boat. Next, I used timestamps to mark the moments when her legs touch the ground, so I could match them with the sound effect of the steps. And I also used a sound effect of breathing. Moving on, sound effect of the car, a Porsche, and then here I have a sound effect of pass by. Next scene, I start with the church bells, and then I used a reversed, so here's another pro tip, a reversed whoosh. If you go to Artlist to whooshes, you will see you have different types. Risers, downers, and also reverse whooshes that I like to use when the movement is reversed. A big moment here was when I flew through the gap here, so again I used a reversed whoosh. Okay, next one is interesting. So the beginning, this was filmed with a GoPro, so this is audio from the GoPro, but once he jumped, the audio becomes unusable. I don't know, I just don't like the way it sounds. So what I did is I cut it at the exact moment when he goes into the air and just kind of let it fade out. I added a sound effect of the wind. It sounds much cleaner, and I also lowered the volume of the song at the exact moment when he goes in the air and flies. I think it just enhances the moment. Moving on, we have a sound effect of the helicopter's engine. Next, the sound effect of the bike, and then we have the sound effect of the car, again fading out at the end, and some wind. And here I actually used a transition whoosh. I think it just sounds really cool and it fits this scene. Sometimes I just try to add a sound effect. I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm just testing if it sounds good or not, and in this case I was lucky. I don't know, I think it really matches these two visuals good. The next one, I used again a whoosh sound effect at the exact moment when he throws the hat, and that was basically it. If you learned something new today, please do like this video, leave a comment if you have any questions, and yeah, thanks for staying with me till the end, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Have a great day.